Hello Bookish friends, welcome to my Turkish Shelf video series. Today I'm going to talk about a book that has been translated to English very recently. It is called The Science of Shahrazad by Defne Suman. Defne Suman was born in Istanbul in 1974 and grew up in Principe Island, which is called Büyükada in Turkish. She went to Bosphorus University and then she gained a master's in sociology from the same university. And at the age of 28, she left Istanbul with a backpack and headed for Thailand. She worked as a teacher in Thailand and spent the next 10 years traveling the world. In Thailand, she started learning and practicing yoga, which helped her to understand where she should direct her energy for a meaningful life with fulfillment. She later continued her studies in Oregon and now lives in Athens with her husband. Defne Suman discovered books at an early age, and she has been writing since the day her mother gave her her first diary. She wrote stories, novels, articles that explore some darker corners of the human psychology, connected to family secrets and the silenced parts of Turkish Ottoman history. She used the themes of exile, memory, displacement, and speaking from the perspective of the minorities. Her first novel, consisting of travel diaries titled Mavi Orman, which can be translated as Blue Forest, was published in 2011, and her first novel, Saklambaç, which can be translated as Hide and Seek, was written in 2014. Her latest novel, titled Yağmur, which can be translated as Rain, was published in 2020. Her works have been previously translated to Azerbaijani, Bulgarian, Italian, Czech, Arabic, Hungarian, Macedonian, Egyptian, Russian, Kazakhstan, Indian, Norwegian, Armenian, and Greek. The Science of Shahrazad was first published in Turkey and Greece in 2015, and this novel is her English language debut novel. The Science of Shahrazad was first published in Turkey as Emanet Zaman in 2015. It was simultaneously published in Greece because she also lives in Greece with her husband. She describes her plot of the book in her website like this. In an orange-tinted evening in September 1905, Sheherazade is born to an opium-dazed mother in the ancient city of Smyrna. At the very same moment, a dashing Indian spy arrives in the harbor with a secret mission from the British Empire. He sails in two golden-hued spires and minarets, scents of fig and sycamore, and the cries of street hawkers sailing their waves. When he leaves, 17 years later, it will be to the heavy smell of kerosene and smoke as the city and its people are engulfed in flames. The story is told through the intervening fate of a Levantine, a Greek, a Turkish, and an Armenian family. She says that she decided to write this story after reading Middlesex by Geoffrey Eugenides. By the time the Smyrna chapter was finished, Middlesex was just beginning. Two main characters in that book were saved from the Great Fire of Smyrna and made their way to Detroit, to the New World where the rest of the book unfolds. And in her sides, she says that at the end, from the ashes of Smyrna, was born the Science of Shahrazad as a distant relative of Middlesex, forever in gratitude for the inspiration. The Science of Shahrazad tells the story of four families: a Levantine, a Greek, a Turkish, and an Armenian family. In the wake of World War I, Although this book has many characters and 3 timelines, it has 4 major characters. One of them is Edith Lamarck. She is a young, beautiful and rich Levantine woman. The non-Greek Christians were called Levantines in Izmir. Edith falls out of her family's and society's favor because of her unconventional lifestyle. Panayota is a young Greek girl who falls in love for the first time in 1919. She is devastated when her lover chooses not her, but to join the Greek army to fight against the Turkish army in the Independence War. Sheherazade is a mute woman who grows up as a witness to the grief, death and destruction that is enacted on her city. She is rescued by Miralay Hilmi Rahmi, a Turkish army officer, in the Great Fire of Izmir in 1922. And then Sheherazade starts working as a maid in Miralay Hilmi Bey's home. And our last character is a male character. He is an Indian-born British spy who comes to Izmir in 1905. He meets and falls in love with Edith Lamarck and stays loyal to her all through her life. He knows a secret that would tie these 3 seemingly unrelated women to each other. I read this book, Emanet Zaman, 2 years ago for my real life book club, and it is still one of the best books that I've read for this club. 2 months ago I saw that this book was translated to English. And I was very happy to see that it was translated, and now I can finally recommend this book to my international friends. As I mentioned in the plot and the characters section, this book has a multicultural layer, which is something that was very prominent in Izmir at that time. Although this multicultural aspect is not currently present in my city because of the war that is described in this book, the culture of being tolerant still exists in this city. I think because of this culturally rich history. When I read the book, I loved it because of his writing style. I hope the translation is as good as this wonderful writing style. And I also thought the stories of these 3 women from 3 different cultures to be very interesting, also very dramatic, because the harmony that people lived in was disrupted by this war brought to innocent people by the very wrong decisions taken by the political powers in their countries. Events in this book also has a significant impact on my life. My paternal grandfather actually came to Izmir because of the refugee exchange that happened between Turkey and Greece. The Greek minorities living in Turkey went back to Greece, and the Turkish minorities living in the Greece and Greek islands went back to Turkey. And my paternal grandfather came to Izmir in 1923, actually, when he was only 3 years old. So I belong to one of these families who were impacted by this unrest between the cultures. So I was additionally moved by the story of people who were displaced from their homes, and the realistic descriptions of the Great Fire of Izmir were sometimes hard to read because of its impact on people's lives, properties, and their livelihood. I have seen pictures of Izmir after that fire, and it was really sad how the half of the city was destroyed in that fire. So I would strongly advise this book if you want to learn about that fire and all of the cultures and people involved in that time period, and also peaceful coexistence of many cultures could be so easily distracted by the influence of very wrong political decisions. In summary, I gave Emanet Zaman an 8 out of 10, and as I mentioned many times, I am so glad I can finally recommend this book to all of you. Those were my thoughts on the book Emanet Zaman by Defne Suman. So please comment down below, do you think the cover of the English edition of this book is very beautiful, like I do? And if you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. For Turkish word of the day, I'm going to go backwards. Emanet means entrusted in English, and entrusted is our English word of the day. Have a good day.